Absolutely. We have a fantastic show lined up for everyone this morning on a bright and sunny morning here in Charlottesville, Virginia. We're going to be joined very shortly by Elizabeth Raymond. She is the co-founder of Nobleburger, followed by Virgil Velasco. He is a realtor at Story House Real Estate, fellow Cubano, as Javier and I like to say.
We'll speak some Cubano today.
We'll speak some Cubano today. There we go. There we go. And last but not least, we'll be joined by Ana Antigua, realtor at Mi Casa Civil, as well as Ricardo Cruz Duran. He is the Hispanic Segment Mortgage Supervisor at UVA Community Credit Union. We'll be talking about the upcoming Amplify Your Voice conference for Latino professionals on September 9th. So
that's great. That's
jam-packed show. A lot to look forward to.
A lot going on today. I can see that.
Oh yes, no, but in the best possible way.
Always in the best possible way.
As always. So we're
great
really
entrepreneurs and great all around just fun people. I mean, it's just been a lot of fun just being here already.
It has. Well, I mean, and it was fun. Just a little shout out. It was fun last night. The Today Mañana Guest Appreciation event.
That was
Forward
good.
Adelante,
I enjoyed that.
Latino networking group here in Charlottesville. So that was a lot of fun. Just bringing Latino professionals, diverse entrepreneurs, everyone together to just meet each other and get to know the other amazing small business owners and professionals that are in our community. So, and
it's wonderful when you do that, out of work hours, because it's more relaxed. You get to meet them, you get to learn more about them, about themselves, and who they are, and it's just it's wonderful.
Exactly. Enjoy a couple of drinks from Casa Hill Cider.
They were amazing.
Food.
They were amazing. They were amazing. Oops, my phone's still on.
Oh, someone forgot the cardinal
It's done.
rule.
It's done. See,
okay.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today y Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Xavier. We're very excited to have you joining us this morning on a very bright and sunny morning.
Gorgeous
here in
morning,
Charlottesville,
really
Virginia. Not too humid, and it's bright and happy out there. So it's a perfect day, as we always say, to grab your café con leche or your iced café con leche, if you do go for that in the summer. Settle down into your favorite spot and enjoy another fantastic show of Today y Mañana. We have some amazing guests lined up for you this morning.
It's a jam-packed day today.
It's a jam-packed day. We're going to be joined first by Elizabeth Raymond. She is the co-founder of Nobleburger, followed by Virgil Velasco. He is a realtor at Story House Real Estate. And last but not least, we will have on Ana Antigua, realtor at Mi Casa Civil, and Ricardo Cruz Duran, Hispanic Segment Mortgage Supervisor at UVA Community Credit Union, to talk about the Amplify Your Voice conference for Latino professionals and Latinos in real estate on September 9th. So we got a lot going on.
A lot going on,
but we're really excited for it. Some people already tuning in. Thank you, Stephen Davis, for liking the show this morning.
Is that from CIC?
From CIC. We might be talking. We may or may not be talking. A little community investment collaborative this morning on Today Mañana. And just a quick shout out. Always love being here. Appreciate being presented by Emergent Financial Services and powered by our friends at Castle Hill Cider, where we had the Today Mañana appreciation event last night, as well as by the Jim Seville, Aqua Seville Hand Car Wash, our friends Miguel and Chick at Craddock Sirius Insurance, Johan Torres at GBS Financial Services. We are always partnering with Forward Adelante, the premier Latino networking group here in Charlottesville, Virginia. So we got a lot in store. Merilyn Corpeño, gracias for watching the show this morning. But I suspect we're going to have a lot of fantastic audience members joining us this morning.
That's always wonderful. Wonderful to get the audience involved and ask questions and take a look at the show.
Exactly.
Don't forget to like and share.
Don't forget to like and you're doing my job.
It's amazing that I can remember every once in like 10 shows.
You do. Be sure to like and share. Send us any comments, questions you have for guests. I will read all the nice comments that you have for our fantastic guests this morning. So I don't know about you, but I'm ready to jump right in.
No bull, I'm ready to go too. I love that. I really love that. I mean, that's amazing.
The puns are starting already. I love it.
So we're really excited to welcome to the show this morning Elizabeth Raymond. She is the co-founder of Nobleburger. Elizabeth, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you guys so much. Excited to be here.
I'm so happy you're here.
It's great to have you on. So, before we get started, for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started Nobleburger, as well as I'm sure Jay will want to know the name.
Yeah, so I'm one of the co-founders of Nobleburger, along with my mom and my sister. Okay. We do it's really all in the name. We make a line of premium, high-quality, real food ingredient veggie burgers that are not meant to be a meat imitator, a true farm-to-table veggie burger made of 100% plants and 0% bull.
I don't know. I don't know if people can look at the logo, but look at just the logo. So it's got like this bull, and at the end of the horns, it's got leaves, right? Is that what that is?
Friendly, yeah.
Yeah, it's a clever, very clever,
clever logo.
And the funny thing is, so it's this no bull, right? But when you say it, almost sounds also like noble. Like Nobleburger. Nobleburger.
So it's a triple entendre. You got one of the meanings. So
there you go. You figured it out.
I tell you. Sometimes the light goes on. Sometimes it doesn't.
This morning we're glad to know it's on. For sure.
Got it.
A little shout out. Thank you, Elizabeth Erpe. Thank you, Johnny Ornelas, amigo del programa, for watching the show this morning. So I'm curious, what led to you? I love the idea we're a family-owned business as well. So I love the idea of family-owned mother-daughter business. What kind of led the three of you to be interested in, veggie burgers, and let's do this where it's not just meant to be a substitute for meat, it's an actual high-quality, good-tasting veggie burger?
Yeah, so it all starts with mom. My mom was a caterer and chef most of my life, and had always, actually the original recipe she had created decades and decades ago, before veggie burger or being vegan was even as a trend as it is now, and kind of raised myself and my four brothers and sisters on just the idea of being conscious of the foods that you put into your body and the effects that it can have on your day-to-day life and health and mentality. And we enjoyed that original flavor for, like I said, decades as just a family, and all these other veggie burgers started coming to market, and we would try them, and they either tasted like the cardboard box that they came in, or they were a long list of unidentifiable ingredients that my mom wouldn't let us eat. And so we just kind of started seeing that nothing compared to what my mom was making at home. And so food is a big, it's a love language in our family. It's why we get up in the morning, and it's, usually all of our events and things are surrounded by food. And so we knew we had something really unique compared to what the market was providing, and we had something that was very different than what is available at the stores. So we kind of felt like we had to do it. We talked about it for so long, and we were always wondering, what if we do this? And it was just kind of one of those moments where you take that leap of faith and you're like, okay, it's now or never. And so started at the Charlottesville City Market, which was a wonderful stepping stone for us to kind of get the brand out there, test market, see if do people even want this? And it was a resounding yes. And from there, that was actually 11 years ago, and it's just been a long journey forward, but very, very, very proud of what we've done, and also just knowing that we still have something so unique and solving a problem for a lot of people out there.
And I see that you have actually, from here I see there's a whole bunch of different flavors, right? So you got I see the Italian, the spicy Italian.
To our roots here, spicy Italian. So it all started with the original, and then we have our savory mushroom and roasted garlic. These are probably the top two sellers in the line. And then we have our sun-dried tomato and spinach with delicious sun-kissed sun-dried tomatoes.
I love those.
Our spicy Italian, it's not too spicy, it's just a little red pepper flake, but it's got red and green pepper and a lot of Italian seasonings. And then one of my other personal favorites is our Madras curry, and it's just a really nice, mild, warm Madras flavor that is so good. And that's the 5 flavors for now. More to come down the road.
The fact that there are 5 flavors, I think, is a testament to the achievement of what you're doing. Just usually, in my thinking, is you either have a burger or you go to the store and it's Veggie Burger.
Veggie
That
burger,
is the flavor.
Exactly.
Veggie Burger.
Exactly.
So the fact that like you can taste different flavors and put it together mean that it's more than just like you said, it's not a substitute. It's not like, I have to eat Veggie Burger today. Let me just get this. It's all right. I want to have some sun-dried tomato. I want to have some madras flavor and all these different vegetables that are in there because it's something that's delicious and different.
Right. And I think that's a big thing for us behind Noble is that, we want, obviously, consumers are looking for more convenient ways, and we're learning and becoming more aware about the foods that we consume and the effects that they have on our health and the planet. And, as healthy as something might be for me, if it doesn't taste great, if it tastes bland like I'm not going to be, I'm not going to want to eat that. And again, it goes back to just our belief in just food is not only medicine, but it should be enjoyable. It should be craveable. It should be, something that you look forward to. And I think what we really take pride in our line is really letting the vegetables, it's an organic lentil base in all 5 flavors, and just really letting the flavors and the seasonings really just shine, and you don't feel like you're missing out. And that's something that I really love about this. I've been eating the original literally my entire life, and I'm still eating them on weekly basis.
No, and that's great. I mean, and it's funny because you talk about that food is almost like a language, and in our family it's the same thing. It's like I know, like every time we go on vacation, part of the conversation is, especially if we're going to like Europe, for example, it's like just tasting the different foods of the different villages, for example, right? What we're going to eat today, right? And I think in our dinner tables, same thing. I mean, my wife is just wonderful because it's like every day it's almost a different meal, right? She'll come up with like things. It's like, how did you come up with that? She goes, I just thought about it and put it together, and always, I mean, there's always like 3 or 4 vegetables on the table, whether you like it or not. There's vegetables on the table. So this is great to really see that there, in particular, different flavors, because you're right. I mean, somebody might say, it's just another veggie burger, but it's not, because now with the flavors, you can say, well, I'm going to try that and see how that tastes, and it's just a different, way to approach a meal that's already has some flavors in there that you may enjoy. Right?
Absolutely. And I mean, the convenience factor of it, but the nutrition factor of it.
Yes.
And we're seeing, the plant-based industry and category in and of itself has exploded in these last few years. And you can now go to Burger King or McDonald's and get a plant-based option. The question there, the debate there is, how much healthier are these choices for us? And I think that's where Noble still shines so much in what is now a saturated category. We still have something that not only delivers on flavor profile, which is just, like I said, just something so savory and bold and craveable almost, but it delivers on nutrients and vitamins and minerals, and every ingredient in there, we like to say your grandmother's going to be able to recognize it's.
That's what's important.
That's very important.
Because sometimes it's true. You look at the labels and you look at the ingredients, and some of these is like it's like 20 pages long.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this stuff?
What
am I
When
eating?
you sit there and say, there's no meat, but what else?
Well, what is
What's
this?
in there?
Yes.
But it's nice to know that you're actually getting quality vegetables and ingredients that are inside.
Real food.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
real
That's the most
food.
important thing. It's real food. Yeah.
Yep.
It really is. Well, thank you, Zoe. We got some more. You're bringing in a fantastic audience here. Nadira Muhammad liking the show this morning. Taylor Jobs thanking the show this morning. Yona Smith, thanks for watching this morning. She's got a fantastic group here. Always love to ask like an entrepreneurship question. So, what was it like? Because I know you went through the Community Investment Collaborative program.
Yeah.
What was it like sort of taking that leap and saying, all right, here we have something we love, Mom's Veggie Burgers. We want to bring this to other people. We have an idea that people might like this. What's it like taking that leap and saying, all right, I'm going to go and figure out how to turn this into a company?
I'm learning every day, still learning. You mentioned CIC, and that was such a great stepping stone for us that when we were actually in business for about 5 years before even doing CIC, and, my mom and I, we didn't have a book to follow on how to do this, and just knew that we had something unique and wanted to get out there. Running a CPG consumer packaged good product is a whole different ball game than catering or teaching, which is what we were doing prior. And I think that programs like CIC, or I've also participated in a number of accelerators focused on taking food and beverage, or even just, any kind of packaged good to market, whether that's dealing with retailers, distributors, fundraising, all of the ups and the downs of it. And for me, those kinds of accelerators or programs, like especially CIC, it just provides not only structure and insight and education, but a network of people, which I have found to be so important over the years of, you never know when you need to make a connection, or if you're looking for, a solution to a problem, that someone might know someone. And so I have found that to be so valuable, and a program like CIC is so supportive and so rooted in especially Charlottesville, that just helped, it just helped kind of solidify and kind of put things into more of a system and structure, and kind of help get that next step forward that we were really looking forward.
Which is really neat, because I think a lot of times people, entrepreneurs, especially that if you've already started, there's a tendency to look at the groups that are out there, like CIC, like Small Business Development Center. Well, that's for people who haven't started yet. Like, I'm not going to take a 16-week class to start my business. I've been doing it. But there's just so much value in learning those additional things to take that next step, as you did, and say, all right, how do we go from where we are to take that next leap and really get into the food distribution business, which, like you said, is a totally different business than what you might think of as catering or just selling at the market. It's a very different business, and a lot more things behind the scenes that you have to work on.
Oh my, so much. And even just, like I encourage a lot of my friends, even here locally, to participate in something like CIC, even if you're just thinking about something, or like you said, you might have been doing something on the side for a little while, and just taking that next step to, really testing your product, testing your ideas, getting insight, and other, people involved that have maybe done something like this similar before. And there's just a lot of power in that before. And, I think it also just to help encourage people that you don't have to have an MBA, or you don't have to have, this long skill sets of how to do these kinds of things. So much of it is just grit and hustle and determination, and really believing in what you're putting out there, that you have a solution for someone's problem out there.
And that's so true, right? I mean, in just about every business you see that, because what the entrepreneur wants to do, what his passion is, right? He knows that he can do it. It's a very good product, or whatever it may be, or service, right? But then it's like, the rest of it, and that's where somebody like CIC comes along. But you also, as you mentioned, sometimes you stumble, you get up and move forward, because you realize no matter what, even if you've got an MBA, whatever, you're going to make mistakes, right? Because it's always going to happen, right? Because every business is a little different, and that's the way it is. But it's that in itself has to be a much larger. When you think about creating a business, the idea of having to package things, because it's different. You cook it and then you serve it. That's one thing. But now you have the process of actually packaging, putting it together, distributing. That's a whole new, area of expertise.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm still learning every day, and I think that as we've grown beyond Charlottesville, beyond Virginia, Mid-Atlantic, and we're now a national brand. I think the problems, the fires to put out, the obstacles to overcome just get bigger and bigger. Exactly. Having that determination and hope and just, I think hustle all play a big part into pushing it forward.
Oh, absolutely.
And who's the brain behind coming up with new flavors?
That's Mom. She is a natural, talented chef. Like I said, she's been a caterer and chef my whole life, and just has this wonderful talent for creating flavor and recipes. And she has, we talk about new flavors coming up, or do extensions of the line that we can do. She kind of concocts them in her brain, puts them out, and then my family family, we're all first in row to test
taste,
them out.
of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We actually have an audience question for you and comment. So Eliza Whiteman, thank you for watching the show this morning. She
Hi,
says,
Eliza.
love Elizabeth. She says she loves you. Your story of building and growing this family business right here in Seaville is amazing and so impressive. And she asked, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned as a female entrepreneur?
Ooh, gosh, Eliza.
I know the toughest question of the day.
What are friends for?
I would honestly say that it's the lesson about tomorrow's a new day and getting back up. Because there's been in the amount of time that we've done this and just the constant learning and the constant obstacles that you come up against through trying to grow, it can be very discouraging sometimes, or there's no roadmap to how to do this. And so I think it's having that determination and really kind of just staying in the present moment rather than fixating on a poor decision in the past or a mistake or, what's to come in the future. I think just really learning to constantly kind of come back to now and know that to get back up again. I think that we've all, as anyone who's done something difficult or started their own business or doing their own endeavor, really knowing and believing that, I can try again, I can get back up, picking yourself back up, picking up the pieces and starting over and tomorrow being a new day to kind of tackle that.
That's fantastic.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
Advice.
Yeah. And so true in just about every
in life.
in life, and every small business goes through that. You
Yep.
know?
Absolutely. So Elizabeth, before we let you go, where can people find Nobleburger?
Yes, so I'm super excited to announce that we are launching nationally with Whole Foods as we speak.
Okay.
So they're starting to roll out.
Congratulations. Fantastic.
Definitely a dream come true. So obviously you can find us at your local Whole Foods, but here in Charlottesville, all the great shops like Market Street Market right around the corner,
Okay, yeah.
Feast, Integral Yoga, Rebecca's Natural Foods, Foods of All Nations, and also lots of restaurants. Bodo's Bagels is a big favorite, Citizen Burger Bar, Whiskey Jar, and you can find out all those locations on our website, which is www.nobullburger.com.
Super easy.
Thank you so
Super
much. That's
easy.
fantastic.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
all.
joining us. It's been a pleasure. It's
Absolutely.
been an absolute pleasure. And just be sure to check out nobleburger.com, NOBULL And basically, if you live in Charlottesville, you have plenty of places that you can go.
Exactly.
Just to look for
Well,
your
just about
favorite
everywhere.
local food shop. And if you can't remember them, go to nobleburger.com or go to Whole Foods. And that's the big one that you can now find nationally. So for all our viewers from New York all the way up down to Florida, check out your local Whole Foods soon for Nobleburger.
And it's funny, and I think I've seen that now that I mentioned, because in Food of All Nations we go there quite often too, and I'm positive I've seen that now. Now it just came to mind. I said, I think I've seen that before.
I think
label,
so.
but
I think so. And we
that's
got
great.
Just a big shout out. Thank you to everyone joining us this morning. We got a lot more fantastic audience members coming up. We got Kenneth Hartman. Thanks for watching this morning. Ann Humphreys, Adriana Jambanco, another female entrepreneur that we know. Thanks for watching the show this morning. John Blair, thank you for watching the show this morning. So just really appreciate everyone that is tuning in this morning. And from one fantastic professional here in Charlottesville to another.
To another one.
We are really excited to welcome to the show this morning Virgil Velasco. He is a realtor at Story House Real Estate. Virgil, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Virtual
today.
pleasure
Really
meeting
appreciate
you.
it.
Nice to have you on and to meet you. So I'm curious, love to know a little bit about your story. As fellow Cuban Americans,
Yep.
I would love to know a little bit about your story and how you came to be interested in real estate.
It kind of happened out of the fly. So I was actually in pharmacy before I started real estate. I was going to college for pharmacy. I was doing chemistry in college. And late into that path, I realized this was not for me so much. So I kind of knew what I did not want to do more than I knew what I wanted to do. And at the time, I was like, well, this is good enough for me to kind of change gears. And I always liked business and numbers and that world. So I kind of dabbled and looked for things. And then I found property management in Miami, where I'm originally from, and when I moved here, I was like, let me dabble in the sales part of things, and I found Storyhouse, and it's been a great ride since then. Yeah.
So you grew up in Miami.
Yeah.
Now, were you born in Miami or?
I was born in Cuba.
You were born in Cuba. Okay.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you came to America?
I was 7 years old.
7 years old.
We got
that
it.
sounds very familiar.
That's very familiar. He was 5.
Oh, you're much younger.
Well, 7 when you came to America, 5 when you left
Correct.
Cuba.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I left Cuba when I was 3 to Venezuela.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've spent about 5 years there, and then in 2003 we got to Miami. We
Okay.
had some family in the city, and that's where a lot of the Cubans go.
Yep.
Absolutely, yeah,
since
it's like little Cuba.
90 miles, the whole thing.
I think there's more Cubans in Miami now than in Cuba.
Yeah, it's like a little
I mean,
Cuba.
yeah.
It really is.
Yeah,
It really is.
and I grew up there most of it. I went to elementary, middle, high school there, and everything. And,
Oh, fantastic.
Una pregunta, ¿te enseñaban en español o en inglés en Miami?
en español, bueno, en la casa no hablaba en inglés.
No hablabas.
En la clase no hablaba en inglés. Todavía llego a la casa y no
todo el mundo
hablan
habla.
inglés. Todo el mundo habla español.
Sí. O hablan cubano, vamos a decir.
O hablan cubano, exacto. Yeah, that's right. No Spanish in the house. No Spanish. No
English.
No English in the house.
English.
Yeah.
I always tell the story when I was growing up, right? So that my parents, so that we wouldn't speak English at home, and we used to get a quarter, 25 cents, right, as a I was going to say salary, but as a what do you call it when the kids get? Can't think of the word.
I can't think of the word.
Anyway, they give us a quarter allowance. There you are, a quarter allowance, right? But every time I said an English word, they would take 5 cents away.
Oh, wow.
So it's only 5 words in English, and you're done for the whole week. So it really forced you to speak Spanish at home, which is great.
Which ensures it makes you bilingual.
Yeah.
It ensures that you're bilingual, which is fantastic.
Yeah, in Miami, I mean, there's so much Spanish, such a huge Spanish community that a lot of the adults that arrive there don't have to learn
English. Yeah.
So like, I didn't have a choice but to talk Spanish because my parents wouldn't speak anything else. Yeah. So, but it really helps because today I'm super fortunate, and like moving here to Charlottesville, I see how much of an asset it is to be bilingual.
It is, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know you worked with a number of Latino clients that are looking for homes and so forth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, en español, I wanted to ask in particular en español, ¿cuáles son unos consejos críticos que los latinos en particular deben entender antes de buscar una casa?
Que no tengan miedo en buscar ayuda. Y no creo que la gente los latinos entienden muy bien cómo funciona el proceso. Y no cuesta nada venir a sentarse conmigo, hablar y aprender. Eso es gratis. Eso no les cuesta nada a ellos. Y es una gran oportunidad de entender cómo se encuentra el dinero, si tienen dinero salvado, cómo lo usan. Y si no están listos en ese momento, podemos empezar a crear un plan para en un año y medio, cuando puedan, estar listos para comprar una casa, porque eso es una de las grandes cosas que se puede hacer, que este país te da esa oportunidad de obtener. Y eso es una manera de crear wealth, dinero, con el tiempo, no solo para ellos mismos, pero para los hijos en el futuro, para lo que sea. Y creo que hay muchos latinos que no entienden cómo funciona o piensan que para hablar con un realtor o un prestamista tienen que escribir, ¿sabes? Traer una tarjeta de crédito.
Traer una chequera,
sí. Exacto.
Sí. Nosotros hablamos de eso siempre en el sentido de que la ayuda en nuestra compañía también es gratis en el sentido, pueden venir a hablar con nosotros a ver cómo invertir el dinero. Y igualmente también a veces tenemos suficiente dinero para comprar casa, vamos a ver las cuentas que tenéis y decir sí, tenéis suficiente, y entonces tenéis que en este minuto ir a hablar con un realtor o un mortgage lender para ver cuánto pueden comprar una casa. Pero es igual, y creo que poco a poco, yo creo que los latinos naturalmente vienen aquí, entonces siento un poco que no quieren compartir todo lo que ellos son más bien familiares y no tienen la fe todavía en el sistema americano, ¿no? Porque sin duda, si vienen de un país donde el gobierno y todo no iba bien, naturalmente ellos vienen aquí y dicen, no estoy seguro todavía.
Claro.
Y claro, es cosa de señales a ellos que sí, que aquí pueden venir a hablar con alguien, y no es solamente decir, si hablan conmigo tienen que pagarme. No.
Exacto.
vengan a hablar con Virgil, vengan a hablar con Ricardo, vengan a hablar con nosotros y verán que es solamente para aprender y a ver si les podemos ayudar.
Claro, exactamente. Pero es, ¿sabes? Y se les entiende, porque uno viene a un país totalmente diferente, no conoce a nadie,
sí.
Están acostumbrados a los países de uno que les roban, siempre están diciendo mentiras, cosas así. Entonces vienen con como a turtle shell.
Yeah, exactly.
Type of thing.
Sí.
And they don't want to share anything. They don't want to trust anybody.
Absolutely.
And we felt that way when we got here, too. I mean, we would only interact with our own family, our nucleus, but we wouldn't really venture outside of that because we didn't know who you can trust.
Exactly.
And if there's a language barrier also, like, you don't know how the system works,
Right.
you know, and even going to school, like understanding SATs and understanding
Exactly.
where to apply and
All the
scholarships,
jargon that's
all the
difficult.
jargon and there's so many systems and opportunities and things out there for a lot of people, not just Latinos, but everybody. But if you're coming from another country, it's really hard to find all that and be comfortable kind of sharing and just putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
So if we can kind of put that awareness out there that we're not out there to like hurt anybody, we're here to help people, that's a good message, I think.
Absolutely.
And that's the most important thing, right? It's the idea you have to make sure that they understand that we're here to help them, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, so many times people, I mean, because we used to have, seminars or events of FABA, and the few that would come and say, okay, what do you want
What's
from
the
me?
trick? Yeah.
What do you want from me? So we don't
Right.
want anything from you. We just hear something, here's a tax person, so you know a little bit about taxes, or realtor or whatever it would be, right? So the idea was we're here to serve, to help, right? But it takes time. It takes time for them to, like you said, get out of that turtle shell and come out and say, okay, maybe I can trust that person or this person. And
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about, I'm curious, for those who maybe aren't familiar, they've never done this before, what's the process of working with you? So someone says, all right, I think I can trust Virgil, give them a call. What's it like? What's sort of the process that you walked through a prospective, in this case, let's say a prospective home buyer with?
Yeah. So I always like the first step to meet in person. I think meeting in person and building that connection is very important for both sides, because I want to invest time in the client, and I want the client to like kind of invest time in me as well and have a mutual respect for each other's time. So I think it's important to meet at the table in person, and I like to go over the actual home buying process from beginning to end. So it's like, this is what we have a nice chart at Story House where we give the clients to show them how it all works, how it all flows. Step one, to finding a lender, finding a realtor, to getting the keys to your house, and what happens all that in between. And I take that opportunity to learn about them, learn about the client, their families, why they want to buy a house, why they want to do it now, why they hadn't done it before, kind of what their fears are, what they're worried about, what challenges are in front of them right now. And then we kind of create a game plan, right? If they don't have a lender, I'll try to connect them with a lenders that we like working with in town. Usually I try to recommend local people that we enjoy working with, like Ricardo, who's coming up in the next segment, I think. And then kind of create a game plan. Like, what are you looking for? Let's start up a search and let's start looking for houses at that point,
Which really, it's one of the important things is those professional services, that speaking with a professional who knows the business. Because I know one of the temptations, right, I think, is that some people can be like, let me just, it's a modern age, I'll just go on Zillow and see what I can find. So what are some of the things that like an actual professional realtor offers you that are important for people to keep in mind beyond like, he takes me around to see houses?
Right, yeah. So great example. You go on Realtor, let me see what I can find. Well, you found something. Now what? Right? So like, what's the next step? Can you answer that question? Well, if you can, that's why I'm here, right?
Exactly.
And not only that, by the time you see something on Realtor, probably a bunch of people saw it before you too, because we have access to the MLS, which is the live database where all the houses are being fed to Zillow, Realtor.com, and all that stuff. And the clients that have realtors kind of see that before it hits Zillow. So we get first dibs on all the properties that you see on the market. So by the time somebody sees it on Zillow just searching, there are probably people that already saw the house and ready to submit offers, right? So you can kind of get ahead of the game just by having a realtor and having somebody to help you in that regard. And then, okay, so you want to make an offer. Do you have the contract paperwork? Do you have all that stuff? Do you understand the contract? Do you have somebody to sit down with you and understand, so you understand like point by point exactly what you're signing, what you're getting into? And in today's market, the biggest challenge is actually winning a bid for a house, right? Because there's not that many houses and there's too many buyers. And just because you submit an offer on a house today doesn't mean you're going to get it. It means you're going to probably be in a bidding war. And what I can offer is like, because I do it so often and I'm so involved in it, we've learned strategies to kind of get them to win the actual house, because you can submit endless offers and not get any because of how competitive the market is. And unless you have somebody that does it on a daily basis that understands, okay, if you do this, this could probably better your chances on getting this house and things like that. So yeah.
Oh, that's so important, right? I mean, that is key, because it's true. I mean, the world's, certainly over the last few years, the world's changed in real estate. It's not so much that there's 20 houses and and 10 buyers, where it's like, okay, it's a buyer's market. Now it's kind of diverse. It's a seller's market.
Yeah.
So in particular, if you are there trying to buy a house, you need somebody that can truly help you make sure that once you put in an offer, it is a genuine good offer, and two, that you can truly afford that what you're putting forward, right? And vice versa. I'm sure if there's somebody selling a house, right, and it's the same thing. They come to you, and there's ways to figure out, okay, here's the true value of your house, right? And you just want to also make it competitive. You don't want to put it so high that you get absolutely no bids, because now you're in a situation where now you got to start lowering the price of your house, and that's like, ooh, what's wrong with that house? It's being lowered, right?
Yeah.
So again, you come in and you have a very good knowledge of the marketplace, how it works, and it's better for both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we do a little differently at Story House is that we only have one listing agent that helps sell houses, and all the other ones are buyer agents. So I am solely a buyer agent. So I just help buying houses. So I do this a lot, like more, because that's all I do, right? So like I can really help clients focus in on the buying side and put them in the best position to buy a house.
Exactly. And your incentive as their buying agent is not for them. Your incentive is to help them find the house that's right for them, not like buy this house because I'm the listing guy on this house.
Right, exactly. Like that doesn't, like I don't have to force somebody to buy my listing or anything like that. I don't have to force anybody to buy anything. What I tell people is like, look, I don't have to sell you the house. You came to be, I'm just here to help you and coach you through the process. You're the one that wants to buy the house. I'm just going to help you get there and make sure you're getting the best deal possible for your situation. And it doesn't end at the offer, because once you go under contract, then what? Right? If you don't know the process and you don't know what next steps and the deadlines that are on all these paperworks, you can get in trouble, right? Or you can put more money than you have to, or like in the home inspection negotiations, you can probably get more than you think. So things like that is where I think I can bring value to the table to people that want to just try it out on their own.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Because without any doubt, buying a house, there's a litany of things that happen before you actually get the key.
Oh yeah. And
having somebody walk you through, these are the steps. And by the way, when you get an inspector, make sure they do this, they do that, they look at this, they look at that. Make sure, because first time you buy a house, you say, okay, inspector goes in, it is what it is, as opposed to saying, did you look to see if there's any mold somewhere? Did you look to see if all the plumbing was working? And the little things that you may not think about, and you want to make sure that the inspector looks at that foundation, looks at everything, and you can walk the people that you're helping through that and say, let's make sure that everything is done, to the best of their abilities for you.
Right. Absolutely.
Exactly, being that legal translator in a sense. You go there, you got the lawyers with the paperwork, and you're like, I don't speak legalese. And then to be able to translate that for them.
Yeah. Right, absolutely. Because it's a lot of vocabulary that people are not used to.
Oh, sure.
Even in Spanish.
Absolutely.
Even in Spanish. Like I with the Latino community, I could translate things, but even like that language in Spanish is hard to understand.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky thing to be, and it's a long process. I mean, when you go under contract, it takes about 30 to 45 days to close, right? So like it's a process that takes time. There's a lot of things going on, and to do it completely on your own when you've never done it before can be very stressful, and you can leave money on the table, you can make mistakes, and things like that. So
exactly.
It's the biggest investment of your life, basically, right? It's a lot of money, and you're borrowing a lot of money most of the time. So you want to make sure that you're getting exactly what you want, what you can afford, and having somebody like yourself walk them through that process is so important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. As we lead into our next segment, I do want to ask you, so what are sort of your thoughts on that from a Latino perspective?
Sure.
Where do you kind of see Latino home ownership? What are the trends you're seeing with Latino home ownership? Where you see that going in the next few years or decade?
Well, I think in Charlottesville specifically, we're having a great event on September 9th, the Amplify Your Voice Conference, to kind of promote that forward, right? I think this is going to be a great opportunity to bring real estate professionals, realtors, financial advisors, lenders, other all professionals in the community to really come together and provide more resources for the Latino community, because the prices of the homes are going up, right? Everything's getting way more expensive. So how do we make sure that the Latino community can compete in the same market, right? And how can we put them in the right situation for all these things? Because there's a lot of Latinos in this community that make a good amount of money, have great careers, have great families, have great savings, but they don't know what to do with it.
Yep.
Right? They don't know how to take that next step, that next leap to improve their lives, to improve their children's lives, and really set a good foundation and set good roots. And I think that what we're doing here will really amplify that, and that will be kind of the next step, kind of guiding people to a better life in the United States.
And that generational wealth that they can pass
Absolutely.
on.
That's right.
Each
That's so
successive
important.
generations. We want Latinos to be able to get it now, but also as the housing market increases in value over time, as land goes up over time, houses go up, to participate
Absolutely.
in that upside and be part of it.
And be part of it and win and become leaders in that industry as well, So yeah, I think what we're doing and what Ricardo and Anna and what all of us are doing to kind of promote that is going to be a great thing for the city
Absolutely.
and the area. Yeah.
Absolutely. So before we let you go, Virgil, where can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. I've never been a social media guy until recently, but you can actually find me on Instagram now. Virgil J. Velasco. I'm on LinkedIn as well, Facebook, and our office is always open for anybody that wants to swing by, have a cup of coffee, meet in person. I'm always happy to meet anybody. You guys are always welcome. Our office is on Ivy, right in front of Foods of All Nations.
Yep.
Okay.
So
The little white house.
the little white house,
The little white house.
brick,
Can't miss it.
story house. Yep. Anyone is always welcome to swing by and say hello. But yeah, and I'm happy to meet anybody.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for having
No,
me
thank
today.
you for
Yeah,
coming
really
on, Virgil. It was a
appreciate it.
pleasure. It
Yeah,
was a
thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
And thank you to some of our, still got the audience members coming in from far and wide. We got, thank you, Josh White, for watching the show this morning. Thank you, Taylor Jones, for watching. Thank you, Joe Miller, for watching. Thank you, Monica Miller, watching from Montana.
Wow.
So we've got our audience all the way out from Montana watching. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, Monica Miller. So we
I wonder how the real estate's out there.
yeah, I mean, it's probably
Acreage.
beautiful. It's
It's
beautiful. I
it's
can tell
beautiful.
you
I know
that.
that.
The acreage is good. The acreage is good. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in this morning. I know we have some other fantastic. Who else we got here? I saw some. Salvador Imanol Gaona. Thank you gracias for watching this morning. And so, as Virgil was talking about, there's a fantastic event coming up, and so we're here. Welcome to the show to talk about this event and just the Latino real estate market in general. We're really excited to welcome to the show Ana Antigua, realtor at Mi Casa Civil, as well as Ricardo Cruz Duran, the Hispanic segment mortgage supervisor for UVA Community Credit Union. Ana, Ricardo, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
for having
me.
us.
No, it's always a pleasure to have you both on. I know we've had you on separately before, so now we have you both on together at the same time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a food fight here. Who says what?
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit. So it's September 9th, and we'll put all the details in the chat and talk about them. September 9th, Amplify Your Voice Conference for Latinos in Real Estate. Tell us a little bit about, and you can go in any order you want, a little bit about yourselves and the genesis behind the Amplify Your Voice Conference.
Well, my name is Ana Antigua. I am Mi Casa Civil and also now the Traveler's Realtor. Where everything started for me was before even starting real estate. I had the opportunity to work for Candace Vanderlinde as just an assistant, and I told her that's all I wanted to be. But as soon as I started working, I immediately saw the need that there is in the Hispanic community. Just to have somebody who can speak the language and be there. So that made me very passionate because it took me back to when I was in college in UGA, and there was also underserved students. And I remember having a speech saying, because I was born in Puerto Rico, that changed a lot for me, and I became knowledgeable about certain things that my friends maybe weren't. So that's where it takes me back. So going forward, I pushed forward to become a realtor, and I didn't know what was waiting for me on the other side.
Nope.
There was so much to learn, and that's when I started talking to Ricardo. I was like, we need to do something. I remember sitting on my desk one time and just calling different states specifically to find out more about the tax ID program. It was so much to learn, and I only had limited resources, and so I called Ricardo. I was like, we need to do something. He's like, yeah, we need to do it now, and I was like, I don't know about right now. I have so much work. I still have so much to learn, but we definitely need to do something. And fast forward to now, like everything was able to fall in place, and we're able to have this conference that we're able to bring different professionals connected to real estate that can empower each other and help each other learn. Not only for like examples like the I-10 program, there's so many things that you guys can't even imagine that as a realtor serving the Hispanic community that we need to know about. And I don't want to just be that resource. Like I want to work with other people. So that's where it starts for me and the reason behind that.
Yeah, I have to agree, and I have to testify to what Ana just said. We've been working together for quite a long time already, and she's 100% right that when we both met, we were just starting our careers. I was starting in the mortgage business, and Ana was starting in the real estate business, and we both kind of noticed that we don't have any representation for Hispanics anywhere in Central Virginia, or if we needed, or if we wanted to meet somebody in Spanish to buy a house or to even look at a house, we needed to go a couple of hours away to like Northern Virginia or somewhere where we had that representation. And so we both spoke about what we needed to have to help our clients, because we understand our clients that most of our clients don't have the capabilities or the legal resources there present to be able to say, okay, I can go with anybody and get a conventional loan or get an FHA loan. So we're like, yeah, we need a tax ID loan. And Ana, I testified to that because she was calling all the lenders in Northern Virginia and all over the place, and she was feeding me the information. I'm like, you need to get them, and she was saying, you need to get tax ID, and I said, yes, we do. It's a lot of work, but we're gonna do it. And we were just starting our careers, and we immediately noticed that. So moving forward, we now after some years of experience, we're now able to connect with a lot more people, connect with you guys, and we're so thankful for being here with you guys.
Of course.
And then for the people out there, I mean, now you have representations. You have Virgil, you got Ana, you got myself, you got so many other people. And what we want to do is we want to bring them together, right? We want to work together so that we can do more things together. If we do it together, we're stronger, and that's what the conference is going to be all about.
Absolutely. So what are some of the things people can look forward to at the conference when you attend?
Definitely, we're going to have food. Yeah, come on over. Yeah, we're going to have food, and it's really good food from our friends at South and Central, correct?
Yeah. South and Central.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Yeah. And it's being sponsored by UVA Community Credit Union, so that's really good. I'm really thankful that they're there and they're able to support us also. Not only that, but you can expect a lot of data. We're going to be speaking about the numbers. What does it look like for Latinos right now? How much underserved are they? What do we need to do as a Central Virginia Hispanic professionals to get that number, to fix that number? It's a large number, but together, and that's the main purpose. Together, we can do more. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, and I think just to add some points here. So I think that's very important because one of the data points that we constantly see is that the the Hispanic community is one of the larger, buyers in the market these days,
and
right?
soon will be, I think, the biggest.
And
Yes,
soon
sir.
will be the biggest, right? And so you sit there and go, we have to make sure that we're able to serve them in such a way that they can have both. We speak their language, right? And two, we have to make sure that they understand everything that's going on. And certainly, like everything else, like my children, you get the second or third generation that will, they'll be able to, fend for themselves. They'll have the knowledge. But as you mentioned, there's just a large number of Latinos that come here and need that assistance right off the bat. And they're ready to buy, they're ready to do something, take that leap, but they need people like you guys to be able to help them through. And I think this is a great conference.
Yeah. And not only that, but also the other side. So we're helping the Spanish-speaking community, but also when I work on the others, like the other realtors or the other organizations that I work with, for them to be knowledgeable as well, and for them to understand. Because if I'm growing alone and they're not, like, we're uneven, and I don't have enough time in the time that I spend with them to let me explain to you. Just sit down with me. So that is also like a big initiative in all of this, to have other people understand as well, like what we go through, what they go through, what is all this about. So.
Absolutely, to be able to work with Latinos as well as like Latinos working with Latinos.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Another thing you can expect is that we are going to have professionals, not just Latinos, but real estate professionals coming all the way from Richmond, all the way from Harrisonburg, all the way from Waynesboro. We've had a lot of engagement with this, and that just tells us, yes, a lot of people are telling us that there's a need. Absolutely. And so, and we also are going to have other people from Northern Virginia coming. So, so you can expect to network with them, and that's another thing.
That's a huge networking potential. What are some of the speakers that are going to be here?
Yeah.
So one of the speakers is the representative, former board member from NAREP. Her name is Dinora Chacon.
Okay.
And she's going to be talking about how NAREP has made a difference in her business in a positive way. Also, our sponsors, you guys. And so Platinum and Diamond sponsors are going to be speaking as well on the event and how what it means to them and what change it would bring to them. And we have somebody flying all the way from California. His name is Ernie G. I met him in college. I was awarded the Hispanic College Fund Scholarship and was able to go to Washington, and he was my motivational speaker. But you guys might have seen him on Que Locos with George Lopez and Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy. We're so excited to have Ernie G. He is awesome, and he is empowering, and I can't wait.
So that's I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
that
me too.
very
Me
much.
too.
I'm looking forward to that tremendously. Elizabeth Hernandez, thank you for watching. Julio Castillo, thank you for watching this morning. Vanessa Parkville, thank you for tuning in. So a couple of questions quizás en español para los latinos que quizás quieren asistir a la conferencia. ¿Cuáles son unos de los beneficios o ventajas de asistir a esta conferencia?
Sí, hay varios beneficios. Solo voy a mencionar unos poquitos para ahorita. Uno de los grandes beneficios es que las personas que puedan ir van a tener la oportunidad de conocer a otros profesionales que trabajan en el área de real estate y que son la mayoría hispanohablantes. Entonces, para las personas que no sienten que aún no han encontrado a la persona correcta, sería excelente que fueran, porque aquí va a estar todos los grupos de todo Central Virginia conectados en un solo lugar. Ahí estará la respuesta para estas personas. Entonces vamos a tener nuestros promotores o patrocinadores. UBA Credit Union va a estar la nueva CEO de UBA Credit Union y va a estar también el representante de ella. Van a estar nuestros patrocinadores Story House Real Estate con Virgil y sus amigos de ahí. Van a estar ustedes de Emergent Financial
Services, claro que sí.
Va a estar Ronald Flores, que es un agente de bienes raíces de Harrisonburg y trabaja con Funkhauser Real Estate. va a estar Candice Van der Linda, a realtor with Remax, right?
Sí.
Va a estar Alex Castillo, que también nos ha estado ayudando, es excelente trabajador. Y él está con Era Bill May Realty. Va a estar Miguel, que él trabaja con Craddock Series Insurance.
Sí, nuestro amigo
Miguel,
Miguel,
sí.
claro
Gran
que
amigo
sí.
de nosotros, claro. Y finalmente la comida, ¿verdad? South and Central, restaurante. Entonces,
Quizás lo más importante, pero no quiero decirlo.
pero uno de los beneficios más importantes del evento es solo la oportunidad de poder participar en esto, ¿verdad? Y poder conectarnos en persona. Después de COVID, tener la oportunidad de reunirnos todos, eso es un gran beneficio.
Sí,
Y más para los latinos, que los latinos les gustan estar juntos, abrazar y hablar, y durante COVID yo creo que estamos un poco separados así, con nerviosismo, ¿no? Porque no podíamos salir, ¿no? Pues creo que los beneficios van a ser muchos para todas estas personas.
Sí.
Claro, y con respecto a, quizás si hay latinos que no son agentes de bienes raíces o no trabajan en el mundo de los bienes raíces, ¿hay ventajas de asistir para otros profesionales latinos o los profesionales en la comunidad?
Sí, me encanta esa pregunta porque puedes pensar que no trabajas para bienes raíces, pero de una forma u otra, yo creo que sí. Ayer estaba hablando para un cliente y hablé con una persona de auto, hablé con una persona que mide terreno, hablé con una persona de árbol, llamé al condado, o sea, hay muchas carreras que están conectadas a bienes raíces y nosotros los necesitamos a ustedes, especialmente como una persona que haga inspecciones de casas. Ahorita yo no tengo a alguien que hable español. Yo creo que puedo sentarme y nombrar todas las carreras que yo pienso que están conectadas. Hasta tengo amigos que hacen recruiting, se me fue esa palabra, para ayudar a personas a conseguir empleo.
Sí.
Ellos también están conectados porque dan servicios para personas que están conectadas a bienes raíces, ya sea un administrador para que necesitan un asistente. Entonces yo creo que deben de venir, aunque no, quizás no sé cuál es mi rol, cómo yo puedo conectarme. Tengo amigos que trabajan en landscaping, o sea, que ayudan en las yardas, eso también está conectado. Sí, puedo pensar en muchas profesiones y lo importante es crecer juntos, no crecer en una forma desnivelada y tratar de amplify our voice, o sea, que nuestra voz sea más grande y que todos nos podemos escuchar y ayudarnos y seguir adelante.
Sí. Eso es muy importante. Tiene razón, porque hay muchos tipos de trabajos, porque siempre pensamos que es en un realtor o mortgage lender, no, pero hay otros tipos de trabajos que en el sentido de una casa se necesitan. En inspectores es muy importante, y poder hablar con una persona que habla tu lengua, que está haciendo la inspección de tu casa, es muy importante, ¿no? Así que, sin duda, que venga la gente a esta conferencia para ver qué clase de otro trabajo ellos también pueden hacer o ayudar, ¿no?
Sí, yo digo también, por ejemplo, él es un prestamista, pero también un banquero normal. ¿Por qué? Porque tiene que ver con las cuestiones de crédito, que como ustedes que ayudan a cómo hacer las finanzas, o sea, yo creo que hay muchas profesiones que quizás piensan que no están conectadas, pero sí. Sí,
es verdad, tienes razón.
Entonces es una buena oportunidad de crecer su red social, crecer su entendimiento de todas las oportunidades, todos los profesionales que están en el mundo de bienes raíces. Si un cliente dice, bueno, hay un realtor, hispano. Sí, yo conozco a muchos, porque gracias al evento. Entonces es una buena oportunidad de crecer juntos.
Y me gusta ese punto porque estaba yo buscando personas como decirle de este evento. Y le dije a Ricardo, entré a Realtor.com, puse los filtros. ¿Quién habla español? No todos los agentes de bienes raíces hacen marketing de que ellos hablan español. Yo encontré muchos. Yo dije, ¿qué? Y yo llamando y buscando y hasta encontré personas que viven en Lynchburg, pero que viajan muchas veces a Charlottesville y trabajan acá. Y yo sé que hay muchas personas, me puedo pensar pintura, también limpieza. O sea, uno quizás piensa, quizás no se sientan dignos, pero todos los trabajos son importantes, abogados. Sí, Tucker Griffin Barnes me enteré que tiene servicio en español. Yo dije, wow, aprendí mucho sobre nuestra comunidad.
Exactly.
Sí.
We have to watch it and pasar a say there's lots of us secret Latinos.
Sí.
we may be walking around and be like, nah, he's not Latino. So, oh yes,
Yeah,
oh yes, he is. But unless you go and meet him, you would never know. You'll never know. You'll never know that there's so many. Or you may know a storefront and say, the storefront just has a name, and you're like, oh, okay. You have no idea who owns it, and then you go to the conference and, oh, it's the Latino who owns that store. You wouldn't know sometimes. So you have to make those connections and know, even if you don't immediately think, oh, this is my industry. Well, it affects everything, including your industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to network. I mean, in everything we do, right, network is so important because you meet people, right, and those people meet other people, and before you know it, there's connections there that you didn't even know existed, or new connections that you say, wow, because of the conference, I was able to meet this person, make that connection, and therefore eventually help others, right? So it's a, wow, these hands are flying.
Tell you're into this stuff.
Absolutely. So it's not only the idea to help the Hispanics, but for the professional Hispanics and for other Hispanics to realize that there are other opportunities out there in working that they can help in.
Absolutely.
And I just, going back to that, I do want to make one thing very clear is that it's not just for Latinos, right? It's not just for Hispanics.
Yeah.
If the people here, if you have a heart and you want to help Latinos in some way, you need to come. And it doesn't matter if you don't have the same color as us. That doesn't have anything to do with this conference. We need your support if you have a heart to help Latinos, because there is a huge gap and we need to work together to get it done. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the beauties, one of my favorite things about Foro Adelante events when we would put them together is you get a lot of Latinos, but you get people who want to connect with Latinos,
Yes.
and that's what's so important is that the Latinos come, but then also people say, I want to work with Latinos. I have a heart for the Latinos. Sometimes I call them honorary Latinos.
Yeah.
So I have a heart to work with Latinos, and it's beautiful that they get to come and learn about all these things at this conference.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Ana, Ricardo, where can people find out more and importantly register? We can do it bilingual, donde se puede encontrar más información y registrar para asistir al evento.
Yo puedo decirlo en español o en como usted guste.
No, dígalo en español.
En español, ok. Bueno, estamos ahorita. Se pueden comunicar con cualquiera de nuestros patrocinadores, ¿verdad? Porque ellos son los primeros en saber. Está UBA Credit Union, puedes ir a cualquier rama de UBA Credit Union y ahí te dan la información. Puedes ir con Storyhouse Real Estate y ahí te dan la información. Puedes ir con Emergent Financial Services, Ronald Flores de Harrisonburg, Candace, Alex Castillo, Miguel de Craddock Insurance, South and Centro de Restaurante Latino de Charlottesville. Con todos ellos puedes encontrar información, al igual que en eventbrite.com. Puedes buscar Amplify Your Voice Conference, and that's going to come up. You can also do a Google search. Puedes se me pasa el inglés.
Está robando.
Me está ayudando.
Puedes ir en Google y puedes poner Amplify Your Voice Conference y ahí va a aparecer la conferencia.
Okay. I'm going to translate. I think. You can reach out to any of our sponsors. Okay. UVA Credit Union being the big one. You can go to any of their branches and find out. Reach out to Storyhouse Real Estate, call Virgil. You guys, Emergent Financial Services. Ronald Flores, Realtor in Harrisonburg, with Funkhouse Funkhauser Real Estate. Reach out to my buddy Candace Vanderlinde over at Buy and Sell Seville, Alex Castillo Realtor, and our friend Miguel with Craddock Serious Insurance. And you can call Chef Calvino Herrera. Shout out to Chef over at South and Central. Or you could just simply Google Amplify Your Voice Conference, and you'll find us there on eventbrite.com.
Absolutely, and we put the link, at least I've put the link on my Facebook page and all the Today Mañanas. If you're watching now, you can go to the comments on the I Love Seville pages at the Today Mañana page, and you will find the link. You can literally just click and poof, go straight to the Eventbrite page.
So easy. Amplify your voice.
Yeah. And literally, Ricardo and Ana are correct. You type into Doodle Amplify Your Voice 2022, and you will find it. It's the first thing that pops up, and you can register to attend. And it is Friday, September 9th. From 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. lunch is provided. There is food from South and Central.
I'm going to get there at 12:30 just in case.
Just to make sure that you get some food.
First online.
Absolutely, yeah. Get there early, grab your seat. As soon as you come in, you can grab the front row seat, and then that'll give you access to front row listening to Ernie G, because it's gonna be really, really awesome.
We are looking forward to it. So really appreciate you both coming in. Did you have one more,
I do.
One more piece of news?
Yeah. Well, I wrote this and I wanted to read it off. Let me know how it sounds. So the mission for the conference is to empower and educate the real estate professionals who increase Hispanic home ownership rates and increase and strengthen the Central Virginia community. When Latinos unite, great things happen, that's for sure. We have such big barriers right now, such as low market inventory, which we're very familiar with that. Finding affordable housing, which is just another one of so many other challenges that we're facing right now, especially those who are underserved and are Latinos within that category. We have such big barriers. But we need to be like trees, right? And this analogy, I was thinking, we need to work with those whose roots already been worked all the way down.
I said deep.
Yeah, so deep in the ground, and they're very stable. Right now, by the time they reach the very bottom, they're very stable. And we need to decide whether we want to recreate the wheel, go down like they did, right? Go down and grow like white oaks and walnut trees. They grow down, hickories grow down, right? And so, do we want to grow more like them, or do we want to rethink and work with them, right? Like a redwood tree. A redwood tree is basically going not down, but it's going sideways, growing sideways. And so, what they're doing is they're intertwined with other trees whose roots are going down, literally holding each other up. And so it's harder to take one tree down. No, I'm sorry. It's easier to take one tree down versus taking two trees down. And so why recreate the wheel when we can work together with each other to create a very strong group of real estate professionals in Central Virginia that will succeed and that will empower and educate, and together we'll learn to grow.
Love it. Couldn't have said it better ourselves. Yeah. I think we'll let that close us out on this one. So thank you so much, both. Thank you both for joining us this morning. It's been fantastic.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Yes. Look forward to seeing you guys on September 9th.
Yep, September 9th. All right, and thank you so much for hosting with me today. It's been a
pleasure as usual.
It's been a fantastic show. Next week we will have on Luna Azul Farms will be joining us, so a lot to look forward to next week as well. Also a pharmacy 5-year anniversary event we had on Jessica and Camino Lino. Yeah. Pharmacy celebrating their 5-year anniversary on September 10th. So the next day from 5 to 8 p.m. you can go and enjoy some good food near the Toad Building to celebrate Pharmacy's 5th anniversary. So thank you for being here. Love being on the I Love Seville Network.
It's a pleasure.
Love you, our audience. Thanks so much for all the amazing comments and questions this morning. Thank you, Tyler Miller, for watching. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate being presented by Emergent Financial Services, as well as sponsored by our good friends at Castle Hill Cider Credit Serious Insurance, Aqua Civil Hand Car Wash, the Gym Civil, GBS Financial Services, and always working with Forward Adelante, the premier Latino networking group here in Charlottesville, Virginia. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. Be sure to check out all this amazing news. You can find it on the comments. You can find it at todaymanana.com, Today Manana Facebook page. There's so much that you can check out and really connect with the Latino community and with the amazing small business and professional community that we have right here in Charlottesville.
Absolutely.
So on behalf of Xavier and myself, thank you all for watching us. We look forward to seeing you next week. But until that time, as we always close on the show, hasta mañana.